legislation, which isn't so new anymore, because now there's newer legislation, provides that you have to have a quorum, which you do, you have 5 people, but your votes are a majority of who's sitting,
Right.
rather than a majority of the board. So you need 3 to pass anything. That's new.
Oh, okay, so it's not like 4.
You don't need 5 votes to pass because you're a body of 9. You only need 3 votes because there are 5 of you sitting there.
Okay.
So that's also new from last session. You're gonna have some more new stuff on this one.
We're good? Okay. I'll call it Thursday, July 27th, 2023, the meeting of the Cumberland Planning Board to order. Roll call. Ms. Rashich.
Here.
Mr. McDonald. Here. Mr. Butler. Here. Mr. Scone. Here. And right now, Mr. Kutu is present. Absent right now, Mr. Bush, Mr. Reese, Mr. DeRosa, and Mr. Costa. Approval of the planning board minutes of June 29th, 2023. Are there any additions, corrections, or deletions? None. If there are none, do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Butler.
Second.
Second by Ms. Rashich. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Okay. Item number 3, zoning board of review recommendation. Owner applicant Kevin Joyce / K2 LLC, location 62 Pine Road, assessors plat 63, lot 115. Zoning is R1 with no public water or sewer. The applicant requests dimensional variances from side yard setback and minimum lot coverage to construct a house. Mr. Modica.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This one's a do-over from November 2021. The applicant received planning board and zoning board approval back then for variances from side yard setback and maximum lot coverage. The applicant proposes to construct a house on a non-conforming lot of record. The applicant's still waiting on DEM permits, so that's why construction hasn't taken place, but the applicant needed to submit an extension request within 1 year of the zoning board approval. That did not happen, so the process needs to start over again from the beginning. There's been no circumstances that have changed in terms of the town's zoning that would lead to a different analysis, so we stand by our original recommendation that the project is consistent with the comprehensive plan, and we recommend forwarding a favorable recommendation to the zoning board.
And the plans haven't changed whatsoever?
They have not.
Okay. Does the board have any questions or comments? Okay, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we send a favorable recommendation to the zoning board of review to approve the requested variances for side yard setback and maximum lot coverage as the proposed petition meets the goals and purposes of the comprehensive plan as outlined in Mr. Modica's memo that was revised July 14th, 2023.
Okay. I have a motion by Mr. Butler. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Scott. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Chair votes yes. Motion carries. Mr. Modica, do we have to also? Okay, and what my question was because we're starting from new, we don't have to grant an extension?
No, we're starting like this is a new application.
Okay, very good. Next item of business is item number 4, zoning board of review recommendation. Owner applicant Anthony Desmaris, Desmond Real Estate Ventures, location 83 England Street, assessors plat 6, lot 146. The zoning is R1 with public water and sewer. The applicant requests a variance for maximum lot coverage to build a 2.5-story dwelling. Mr. Modica.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The applicant is proposing to build a house on a non-conforming lot of record, is requesting relief from maximum lot coverage. 20% of lot coverage is required, which in this case would equate to 900 square foot footprint of the house. Proposed is about 1,024 square feet, which is about 23% of lot coverage. Out of an abundance of caution, according to the application, the applicant is asking for 5% relief. I included a table in your memo that shows the footprint of the proposed house in comparison with other homes on England Street, and it's generally consistent in terms of the footprint. So the planning department finds the project is consistent with the comprehensive plan, and we recommend forwarding a favorable recommendation to the zoning board.
Does the board have any questions or comments? Is the applicant present? Okay, Mr. Partington, is there anything else to add?
No, it's just from Mr. Myers. I asked for a couple extra square feet. Scott Partington for Mars Realty. I asked for just the extra percentage because I wasn't sure. I don't believe that the drawing itself covered. There's also, I believe, a bulkhead in the back of the house. You can see it, a slight protrusion. And I wasn't sure if that was included in the 23%. So again, out of an abundance of caution, I asked for the extra percentage just to cover, just in case that was there.
But the setbacks are all the same.
Right, exactly. And I think that would be, if I'm not mistaken, wouldn't that be presented anyway? I think into the side yard, that extension anyway, but yes, that's, the answer to your question is yes.
Any other questions, Mr. McDonald?
I'm willing to make a motion.
Oh,
Thank
very
you,
good.
Mr. McDonald.
Mr. McDonald.
I'll make a motion regarding 83 England Street, Assessors Plat 6, Lot 146, R1 with public water and sewer, that the board make a positive recommendation to the zoning board of review as the requested relief, somewhere between 3 and 5%, is consistent with the town's comprehensive plan, and that included in the memo is the memorandum to the board from Mr. Glenn Modica regarding that this application dated July 19th, 2023.
I have a motion by Mr. McDonald.
Second?
Second by Mr. Butler. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Chair votes yes. Motion carries. Item number 5, zoning board of review recommendation, owner applicant Robert Lanoy, location 279 Abbott Run Valley Road, assessors plat 26, lot 237. Zoning is R1 with public water and no sewer. The applicant requests a rear yard variance to expand an existing attached garage. Mr. Modica.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This property is a corner lot that includes a single-family house with attached one-car garage. The applicant wants to expand the garage to a two-car garage, but needs a variance from the rear yard setback. Also, as part of the project, the applicant is proposing to add a second story to the garage. Rear yard setback here is 25 feet. The garage will be 11 feet from the rear, so 14 feet of relief is requested. As you know, corner lots are somewhat at a disadvantage in terms of setback requirements, in that they have 2 front yards and 2 rear yards, which have greater setback requirements than if the property had a side yard. In this case, the side yard setback would be 10 feet. Overall, the planning department finds the variance request is reasonable and consistent with the comprehensive plan, and we recommend forwarding a favorable recommendation to the zoning board.
The board have any questions or comments? Hearing none, is the applicant present?
Yeah.
Do you have anything else to add?
No, just that I think it's a reasonable ask and reducing some of the traffic.
Sorry, I was going to ask him as soon as he finished. Your name and address for the
My
record.
name's Robert Langlock, 279 Abbott Run Valley Road. I just think that it's a reasonable ask, and with the reducing of the footprint of the garage now, it will only add about 2% more coverage, which I don't think is very much as well.
Board have any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we send a positive recommendation to the Zoning Board of Review to approve the request for a rear yard variance as a proposed dimensional variance request is consistent with the goals and purposes of the comprehensive plan as outlined in Mr. Modica's memo of July 19th, 2023.
I have a motion by Mr. Butler. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Brasich. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Chair votes yes, the motion carries. Good luck. Okay. Item number 7, public informational meeting, Major Land Development Master Plan. Project name Storage Rentals of America, owner SROA 95 Industrial, Rhode Island, LLC.
Mr. Chairman,
I
Yes?
think you skipped one.
Did I
I think you
skip one?
skipped one.
Oh, I'm sorry. Good for me. Error. Okay.
I think the solicitor's recommending that we amend the schedule to provide for this one to go first.
You recommend that we,
So we're going to do storage.
okay, certainly. Then I've already announced, let's see, where am I? Applicant Kimley Horn and Associates, location 90 Industrial Road, Assessors Plat 23, Lot 184. Location 90 Industrial Drive, zoning I-1 with public water and public sewer. The applicant requests a positive recommendation to the town council for a zoning amendment to allow construction of a 3-story self-storage facility in major land development master plan. Approval to construct a new 3-story self-storage building. Mr. Partington.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm Scott Partington for Storage Rentals of America. As the solicitor indicated, we're here to withdraw the application. I just wanted to, first of all, thank the board for its, its indulgence and consideration. The applicants did go back, as they represented, they went back to try to work out some type of a redesign that could be presented to the abutting neighbors. And at the end of the day, it was just nothing more really than a change of the facade. And I felt that that was just a waste of time and resources. However, they are seriously contemplating, and I believe they will, resubmit for a single story. So I haven't seen a plan yet. I don't know exactly if there would be any other relief that would be requested. But in this instance, what I'm going to do, and I've recommended, and so far the recommendation has been taken, that if we have a substantially different plan, I think it would be a good idea, given the attendance of neighbors and the objections that were raised, to have that private meeting with something to show them as opposed to just a change of the facade of the building. So that's what our plan is to do. Last we spoke about 10 days ago. So.
Does the board have any questions for Mr. Partington? Mr. McNaught?
I have a question to solicitor.
That's fine, Mr. McDonald.
It's just housekeeping. Does the board have to make a motion to accept, or can they can withdraw unilateral? Okay.
It's their application.
Okay, thank you.
Anything further? I'm here, so.
Thank you, Mr. Partington. Thank you, Mr. McDonald. I was going to ask that question, so moving right along. Item 6, development plan review, project name J.J. Duffy Funeral Home, owner applicant Mendon Road Holdings LLC, address 757 Mendon Road, plat 16, lot 893. The applicant requests development plan review approval to construct a crematorium. This item was continued from the June 29, 2023 meeting. Mr. Stevens.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, as you recall, you made a favorable recommendation for a zone change, and the council did rezone this property in May, restricting its use to that of a funeral home, but allowing for a crematorium. They also had, there's an administrative subdivision that is required to be recorded, and that the planning board review the plan that would include a landscape plan. So been working with the applicant, and a landscape plan has been forwarded to you, which includes 13 perimeter shade trees, Princeton elm and red maple. I'm learning my species as we go along. So the department is recommending favorable action on this, in the condition that the applicant records the approved administrative subdivision, and that the trees be planted before a building permit for the crematorium is issued.
Does the board have any questions for Mr. Stevens? Is the applicant here? Mr. Partington?
The applicant has reserved a room in the basement. No, one other thing I just wanted to add to Mr. Stevens, my understanding was, and correct me if I'm wrong, John, that that they would be allowed to obtain at least a foundation permit?
I sent you a copy of this recommendation quite a while back. We never had this discussion.
I thought one of the emails was at least a foundation permit, but the trees are going in the fall anyway, so.
Right, just on this week, but
Believe it or not, yeah. First of all, again, thank the board for your indulgence and your patience. And I also want to thank the planning department, Mr. Stevens and Mr. Modica, for working with the Bernardos. I also want to thank my clients, because I just, as I said, it was important for them as residents of the town and a longstanding business to have the board understand that it wasn't just recalcitrance, it wasn't just being obstructionist, it wasn't being stubborn or thick, that there was really a reason for the position they were taking. And fortunately, the planning department recognized that and was willing to work within those parameters, and we're here today. So again, I just wanted to say thanks to everybody, including my clients, for willing to resolve this matter.
Thank you, Mr. Partington. Mr. Scown?
What's the timeline for the project to be completed?
The fall, I believe.
To be completed?
I'm sorry. Spring.
Spring.
I know the trees are going to be planted in the fall, from what Mr. Bernardo has advised me, so.
I just want to comment that the property is always in immaculate condition.
It is.
I live around the corner, so I want to commend you on that.
It is. And again, thank you very much. Good evening, Mr. Costa, by the way.
And for the record, please note that Mr. Costa is in the chambers at 6:49 p.m. Is there anyone in the audience that has any questions? Is Modica, anybody in the queue? Okay.
I just had a quick comment. I just wanted to thank both sides. I know when we first saw this, the two sides were extremely far apart in what was going to happen here. And as I said, I think at that meeting, I understand both sides, that the town is making a huge investment in planting trees on this end of town. And so having trees there was very important to be consistent with what was happening. But I agree with the Bernardo's point that, the funeral home business is different than a shopping center or another commercial parking lot. And with the deliveries and queuing up funeral processions, having trees in the middle of the parking lot was going to be an issue. So I know Mr. Stevens especially worked very hard trying to get a compromise, and I think the Bernardos came, at least halfway on this. So I think credit's due to both sides. I think it's a very good compromise. I think eventually there'll be enough shade to at least mitigate some of the concerns of having all that pavement, but it's not going to interfere with the day-to-day operation of the business. So I think both sides got what they needed. So thank you, John, and thank you, Mr. Bernardo, and thank you, Scott, for being in the middle.
Is there anyone else on the board that has a question? No, okay.
So I'll make a motion that we approve the proposed project with the condition that the applicant records an approved administrative subdivision and that the 13 new shade trees be planted before a building permit for the crematorium is issued, based on the findings in Mr. Stevens' memo of July 13th, 2023.
I have a motion by Mr. Butler. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Scown. Any other discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Chair votes yes. The ayes have it. Motion carries. And,
10.
oh, wait a minute. Public comment. You almost did it, Mr. Costa. You almost made it. Yes. So, with that being...
Motion
wait a
to
minute.
adjourn.
With that being said, Mr. Costa has the honor. Seconded by Ms. Vacic. Motion by Mr. Costa, seconded by Ms. Vacic. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you, everyone.